Okay, yeah. So you just, I love it. Welcome, guys, back to Third Party Studios. I am your host for the day, Talks Too Much. With me, as always, are my co-hosts. We got Slim and the Cody. Cody in the corner. What's going on, Cody?
Never put baby in the corner.
You put Cody in the corner, though. You're not.
Baby.
You're
Just a baby.
just a wee little Cody baby.
Get up at that dog.
Get up in there, dog.
Did you guys ever see that video?
I've
It's
seen
like
it.
a big black bear. Get up at that dog.
Like the fact that bear, like the parents let the bear get that close to their
Yeah,
kid without
it's good.
running for their lives means they don't love their child. I don't know. You heard it here first. But I actually showed that meme to my brother last weekend for the first time. He had never seen it. We were making that reference all weekend long.
What the fuck are you guys talking about?
And then we were in the car, and I'm just like, have you even seen it? He's like, no, what the hell are you guys talking about? And I was like, can you pet that dog? And then I pull it up, show it to him, and he's like, oh, I get it now. He's like, it's hilarious.
Hilarious.
What that meme,
That's so funny.
that meme is gonna carry on forever. Cody, what have you been watching this week?
Stuff.
Loser.
All the things?
Yeah.
You finished X-Men 97, right? Did
No.
we talk?
No, I did not.
No? I thought
No,
you
I'm gonna have to get creative in how to watch it because
you gotta get popcorn, get a foot rub.
I
What do you
gotta-
mean creative
I
in
gotta-
how to watch it?
I got to
Being creative.
Captain Jack Sparrow that crap over the internet.
Ah.
Yeah.
We'll say it
I
that
got
way.
like the last 3 episodes to go or whatever. But so far it's been really good.
I've heard it's yeah. Everyone's singing its praises. I mean, I think we even were pretty skeptical of it when it was first coming out.
But
I think.
found a new thing.
Ooh.
You guys want to hear about this new thing?
Oh, dude.
Nope.
Make a short out of this. We'll make a
Joking.
YouTube short out of this. Go ahead. Tell me about this new thing.
Dark Matter on Apple TV.
What's that about?
What's that?
What's-
It matters.
Have you heard of this new thing called
Yeah.
Dark Matter? All
Well, I
right.
haven't seen advertisements for it, and I'm just like, I could use another mindfuck show or whatever.
What's it about?
So, well, it's got Joel Edgerton in it. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah.
He's in The Warrior and shit like that.
Oh, okay.
He's the teacher in The Warrior.
Yep.
Jennifer Connelly.
Mhm.
She's in it. It's basically kind of like playing with the idea of Schrodinger's box. You know, with a cat.
Yeah.
That could be fun. I
It's
would
alive and not alive at the same time.
Yeah.
because both
You can't-
possibilities.
Yep,
Yeah.
can't prove it wrong.
And so it's like he creates this device where, well, all right. So it's like every decision you make opens up like another like universe of like this is how your life could have
Parallel
gone.
universe
Yep.
kind of thing.
And so yeah, one of his other people or whatever creates this box that he can go into the other dimensions of his other lives, and it kind of gets a little mind fucky.
That sounds.
They kind of tell you right away, like they could have played with it more of how shit's going down, but
That could have been. That could
Three
be really
episodes in.
awesome. You're 3 episodes into the show. I've never even heard of it. Like,
well, it's only 3 episodes in right now.
okay? Is
Next
Apple?
one comes out on Wednesday.
Apple doesn't seem. Am I just missing these? Is Apple putting out trailers on like cable television and I'm just not seeing them? Like,
I think I just saw advertisements for it, like scrolling through the media part of my PS5.
okay, which is interesting. It's really weird when I think to like how these new shows are supposed to reach me as an audience member because I'm looking for good stuff and I usually get good recommendations from you two.
Right,
but
it's
I mean,
like
for
Fall
the most,
Guy came out with Ryan Gosling, and I never even seen a trailer for it.
yeah. I just wasn't 100% on for it. Apparently, it did fine. I mean, I don't know.
No, it
how,
did horrible.
I heard
but
it did
people
okay.
say it's all right.
Okay, maybe I was hearing positive feedback and not actually that
It
the numbers
flopped.
were good.
It belly flopped.
It barely flooped.
It death flopped.
Imagine spending a few $100 million
Into
and
the
not
kiddie pool.
making money.
Yeah.
Couldn't be
well,
me.
Yeah, Disney.
I do it all the time.
Slim, what have you been watching this week? I know you've been busy, but what have you seen or
I have been. I watched the Fallout. It was good.
the Fallout?
The Fallout show.
Oh, yeah.
It was fine.
I still didn't watch past
It was-
episode 2.
It was good. It was fine.
We had we did a review on that one, or not a
We just
review. We just
talked about
talked
it.
about it.
It was good. There's nothing right home about.
I mean, was it?
I'm a big Fallout fan. I played like all the games multiple times.
Right. Same Z's.
I'm still
If
hearing.
you're a casual Fallout fan, you'll like it. But if you're like, because I've
The-
looked at like a bunch of YouTube videos of all like the like vault lore and all that stuff, just because it's interesting.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
I started.
It's fine.
I started.
Fine.
So I went back trying to go watch like old comedies from like the mid 2000s. So I watched Tropic Thunder. I watched Dodgeball.
That's a good.
I watched
that's-
Napoleon Dynamite.
those
I
are
watched.
good movies.
I watched all these comedies, and I watched all of them, not because I was excited to rewatch them, but because I remember not being 100% on board with them, and so I wanted to just watch back and be like, was I just in the wrong state of mind when I was watching these when I was younger? Tropic Thunder, Tropic Thunder still holds up. It's
So
It's the
funny.
goat.
it's still
The
great.
goat.
So funny. I will rain thunder and light. Yeah, just fire on you.
Napoleon Dynamite
so
was
good.
funnier than I
will
remember,
fuck
but
you
it's still
up.
boring. Napoleon Dynamite's still
It's
boring to
kinda
me.
Boring.
Yeah, I would say
It's
that
a
one's
good
a
movie,
little
but-
overrated.
Here's
It
my
is,
here's
but
my
it's
hot
a good
take,
movie.
and I think we're gonna get people just to switch off the fucking podcast after this.
Good.
Dodgeball is fucking terrible.
Oh, boo.
I hate that movie. I hate that movie. There was one moment in that
Everyone
movie.
Boom.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Can we get some booze in the chat? No,
Yeah, please.
no. I hate Dodgeball. I can't stand that movie.
I liked it.
Vince Vaughn actually in most of what he does is actually really not funny to me. But Dodgeball specifically, I rewatched the whole thing. Just
Have you ever watched Old School?
yeah, I liked Old School, but that's not like the same. Like the
It's not
only
the same thing.
the only enjoyable moment I watched all of
got
Dodgeball,
Dodgeball.
and the only enjoyable moment in Dodgeball for me was when Lance Armstrong goes up to Vince Vaughn when he's like deciding to leave and not go to the tournament. And he's like, yeah, I remember when I was diagnosed with 7 types of terminal cancer, and then I went on and pushed through it and decided to win the Tour de France 5 times in a row. So what's killing you? And Vince Vaughn's like, it's just shame.
Shame.
I remember chuckling at that moment, but the entire rest of the movie, I just sat there thinking like,
That's a pretty quotable one.
there's a lot
Go
of
home and watch it, and then I'm gonna text you and say you're an idiot.
Wrong.
there's a lot of quotable
You
moments in the movie. But the only movie the only movie
How
I
did you
didn't
not laugh at the buried treasure thing with Steve the Pirate? So
forgot about Steve.
freaking funny.
I like Steve the
Well,
Pirate
if
as
you're
a
not
character.
a pirate anymore, who am I going to share this buried treasure with? And he goes, "Arr!" He starts crying.
Who the
Oh,
fuck?
so good.
Who plays him again? It's like Alan something.
He's a great. I mean, that's a great actor, honestly.
Gosh.
I like. No, it's not Alan. He was Alan in fucking.
Starts freaking out. I mean,
Night
he's not a
Scale.
pirate. You're not a fucking pirate, Steve.
The best player on your team thinks he's a pirate. Havashi, matey. Okay, so there is plenty of quotable moments in it, but I just was watching it, and I can't stand that movie. I don't get excited when people are like, "You want to go watch Dodgeball?" No, I don't want to watch Dodgeball.
Anyway.
I would rather like sit on sandpaper treadmill than just watch
Really?
Dodgeball. I
We
can't.
can arrange this.
That's
I don't-
That's a hard take.
Anyway.
You would rather sit on a treadmill that has
sandpaper
sandpaper
treadmill.
on it
What kind
than
of grit?
watch that movie.
What's the what? So grit is or like grit for like sandpaper is measured like in like
It's in like 10s and 50s. And
yeah. So it's weird numbers. What hurts the most if it's like
I think it's the lower the grit is, the rougher.
One.
I want a negative. I
Lower
want
the-
-6.
I don't think it does that. That's like fucking.
don't
That's
think
just rocks on paper.
That's just rocks.
I don't think I can purchase that.
Just a rock glued to paper. Anyway, so that's my that's what I the only
Anyway,
the only comedy I wanted to get in this week that I didn't get to was Step Brothers because I feel the same way. I remember feeling the same way about Step Brothers that I did Dodgeball.
Right.
And so I feel like I'm gonna go
totally
back-
against you on this one. Step Brothers is one of the best.
I haven't rewatched it. I
Yeah.
remember not fully enjoying it. I know it's quotable. I know it's
I know this is
funny.
probably
It's just
a year ago by now, but didn't we have like a favorite comedy thing?
we did. Yeah.
War Room?
I think mine was
Mine was Old School.
yours was
that movie
old
is
school.
Flipping gold.
I'm on
Mine
the picture.
mine was That's My Boy. I That's My Boy is like
That
which is dog shit.
yeah, it's a great story. I love that.
I think yours was Tropic Thunder, and I think
Oh, yeah.
you won
There's
because
well,
that's
yeah,
a
'cause
great
it's great.
movie.
Yeah. We need to figure out a way to bring the War Room back. Anyway,
Sound
we
of
do
us.
have a lot of stories to get into this week. We have
Oh, I
4
thought we were done already.
No, yeah.
Can I go
See you guys
home?
next time. No, I'm just. Also, reminder to you guys, if you are enjoying the content, please consider subscribing to the channel, smash the like button on this video, and share it around. Let people know where we are, what we're doing.
Get paid.
Yeah, we got to get Slim paid.
I'm broke.
I was gonna say, you guys are getting paid.
You guys-
No.
All right, let's get into the first topic. The first topic we are going to be covering is Rings of Power versus House of the Dragon.
What's Rings of Power?
Rings of Power. let
Never
me tell-
seen it.
Rings of what?
You shouldn't.
You know about okay. Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power.
I don't get it.
Me neither.
Just
but
watch the original trilogy.
okay, so we're not going to be doing. This isn't going to be a trailer reaction. We will show like
So, do you think they dropped this because of the announcement of Peter Jackson doing 2 Gollum movies?
it could be. It could feed into. They could be feeding into each other.
You know what you guys should go do? Audience right now, go play that new Gollum game. You'll really enjoy it.
Get excited about that.
Do you want to hate your weekend?
Go spend $60 on a indie game that should cost you $5.
So when Rings of Power season 1 came out, I remember
watched it all,
looks
right?
good.
I I mean, so
Okay, yeah, and then we'll compare it to the next trailer because no, it does not.
Does it not? I mean, it looks good to me.
well, here's the thing: if you're watching the trailer and you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, what a masterpiece! What a beautiful work of art!"
That's not what I'm thinking.
You got to remember that. Rings of Power is, to people who love Tolkien's work, is this abomination. It's just this disgusting reimagining of like an appendices from his work, and it's just the most tormented work that I've ever suffered through. I hate this fucking.
How did
show.
the Tolkien community take for the original trilogy? That must have gone well. I mean, everyone loved those.
Loved it, but there were people that were like, yeah, they're missing a bit
few
of
things.
Yeah.
So they didn't. Here's the thing: they didn't add anything of their own. Even the things they got wrong were still pulled from original work. So for the most referenceable example is Galadriel in the beginning is doing a narration in the original Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Okay.
And that monologue from her actually comes from Treebeard. So that's Treebeard's
Could you
words.
imagine Treebeard narrating the beginning? It'd
Oh
be like
my
take
goodness.
20 minutes.
I would love it.
Oh,
No.
it's
Yeah.
just
Kate Blanchett's just soft voice doing it. It's fine.
Yeah.
And so like, and obviously they don't have Tom Bombadil, which I don't know how you do it. I mean, Tom Bombadil is, I love that character.
Isn't he basically like God?
He's
just do whatever.
Well, Tom Bombadil in the lore is actually really
It's like he
interesting.
could have brought the ring to Mount Doom, but he just get like sidetracked on the way.
No, yeah.
He's kind of like a.
He just starts
The reason that he didn't take the ring, Tom Bombadil didn't take the ring, is because he's apart from it. He's not like God in the sense. Like I think that's I'm not gonna try to get super deep in the lore because it's been over a year since I've reread all the work, and I'm so bad at retention.
Is he higher in that ladder? Because I've looked at like the steps of God tier. Is he above Gandalf then? Obviously,
He's far above Gandalf.
Well, there's only like 3 steps above him.
Yeah, but he's like so I can't remember the name of the god in this universe.
Aesir.
No, it's not. It's
That's the elves.
Beasir.
no.
That's the dark elves.
I can't remember the name of the
B for
god in the
bad.
Tolkien universe.
I don't
There's
remember
there's
either.
a god, and then he created the Valar,
created
and
the
then
Valar,
and then the Valar created the world through the song.
Yep.
So I'm gonna butcher all of this, and so I don't really want to try.
I haven't seen it for a couple of years. I watched it. There's a whole big YouTube video about like all the tiers of who's who and
But the so
why Frodo took the ring and not like someone like Gandalf.
So
or
Tom-
the Eagles even.
Tom Bombadil doesn't scale properly in this universe because he's apart from it.
Oh, okay.
So Tom Bombadil is actually a character that Tolkien was reading, like introduced to his kids through like bedtime stories and things like that. And
Guy's a nerd.
he has Tom Bombadil has his own book, his own story, and so his inclusion into the Tolkien universe with like the Lord of the Rings trilogy. The reason he doesn't take the ring is because he's detached from its meaning. Like it doesn't have any effect on him. He doesn't have any influence on it. It's just apart. They're apart from each other.
Okay.
And so if he had the ring or tried to hide it, he would forget it and lose it to time because it has no influence. It's as insignificant to him as like a paperclip. You misplace a paperclip. So that was one of the main reasons Bombadil didn't get the original. Anyway, I don't know why.
How did we get off on
I
this?
really sidetracked him. That's
You
my
did.
bad. Usually it's me trying to keep us on track. That was my bad.
The thing
Where
is,
were we?
Anyway, Rings of Power.
Rings
looks
of
like
Power-
doo-doo.
so Rings of Power is a second age story.
And you loved the first season.
I loved the first season. Fuck
I
that
was
show.
like, I thought you talked crap about it.
I talked crap about this show so hard. The only work I hate more than Rings of Power is the Halo series.
Yeah, that is kind of trash. I did watch like a couple episodes of that after we like talked about it. I'm like, this is.
I
terrible.
watched
That's
every
Master
episode of
Chief
season
takes
1.
his helmet off right away. I'm like, that's blasphemous. Blasphemous.
It's
The
like
wo-
30 hours of your life just wasted.
Yeah.
And you-
watching shit shows that you know are shit shows.
Yeah.
If you want,
Like Velma.
so the
That was
cool
only a half hour of ours.
The cool thing about the second age in Tolkien's universe is that it doesn't actually have a lot of lore filled into it.
Not really.
And so
no.
and it's also I don't think it's like public domain, but it's copyright free where you could go online and create
up-
your own
make up shit.
fictional work. It's still kind of taboo to do, but you have a lot like there's a YouTube channel named Council of the Ring.
I know you're talking. I've seen that.
Yeah, he has his
seen
own
his stuff.
he's working on his own second age story. So he's working on his own version of like what this should look like.
Yeah.
And infinitely better. He's only put out 2 episodes last time I looked, but he's doing his own work on it. It's fantastic.
Check his shit out.
Yeah, Council of the Ring. Find his channel. He was one of the only Tolkien YouTubers who was actually calling this show out for what it was. All these other big YouTubers went to
Chilling.
They went to London. They on Amazon's Dollar saw like a preview of it.
They basically were probably forced to say what they had to say.
Oh, they shilled hard for this show. They like
Everyone did, yeah.
What a bunch of posers.
It pissed me off. Now, Council of the Rings didn't go. He didn't give Amazon any boon from his own stuff. He criticized the show. He did the reviews, and honestly, to his credit, because the reviews of this show plummeted with if you do episode reactions, those videos do bad because no one cares about the show. 3 episodes into the show, I think it had lost 70% of its audience. I think
It happens if you chill out.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the first season's all right, so you got Halbrand, you got the basically Gandalf, it is Gandalf, and the dude that started Mount Doom.
Sauron?
So, no. So it's like one of these people are Sauron. That was kind of like they're playing like a little shuffleboard game. But like episode 1, everyone all knew that it was Halbrand. So there was no point to the other 2 at all.
Right. And there were to be as generous with Amazon as possible, they had some scenes that were visually appealing. But you have Black Legolas, and you have him bouncing around the fucking screen. And I had a problem with Legolas doing it too, but at least it was in good faith, and they had a fair reference to it. But yeah, Halbrand being Sauron, and Sauron, the way they did it all was
So he put a wig on and some pointy ears to blend in with the elves.
Right.
That's so Sauron.
Well, and
Sauron was an elf.
No, he's
a
like
Maiar.
He's the master of disguise.
He's a Maiar. He's like Gandalf.
I misunderstand the lore then. I thought he was an elf.
No. So Sauron was one of the lieutenants to Morgoth. Morgoth was one of the Valar, and Sauron was a Maiar. So he's on equal plane with Gandalf, except he's significantly more powerful. So I mean, I know. I don't want to.
I thought I played what's that game with you kill all the generals on Xbox with the
Shadow
of War.
Yeah,
I could have swore in that game and other stuff I've seen that
he
was an elf that created the rings.
I can explain that.
Oh, the ghost guy that's with you?
So I can explain.
No, that's a different guy.
Yeah.
I know that.
So Sauron manipulates Celebrimbor into making the rings of power with him.
Okay.
Now here's the rub. Here's what's getting causing the confusion. Sauron was a shapeshifter. He was a master of disguise. In the Silmarillion and in I think the Baron and Luthien, he actually disguises himself as a werewolf in several references in the books. He's a shapeshifter. When he's convincing Celebrimbor to make the Rings of Power, he is disguising himself as an elf, and he actually lives amongst men in Numenor. As I believe he is disguising himself as Lord of Gifts, and so he's manipulating the men of Numenor into over hundreds of years. He's convincing them to turn against the Valar and the elves.
This guy's not aging a bit. He's a sorceress, and I'd stab him.
Well, he's a big deal. He's not a small deal.
I knew that.
But yeah,
There's 3 movies about him.
One big issue with Halbrand and Sauron in this work is that the way it's interpreted in this work, he is not at all being Lord of Gifts, and he's not at all being convincing men of Numenor. He's just playing.
Well, they're switching shit up. They're taking bits and pieces throughout the lore and just throwing it in. Time is
Amazon
there's
stuff.
supposed to be thousands of years or whatever going on between the whole season.
Yeah.
And it's just
their time shuffling is garbage.
Days.
Yeah, their time shuffling is garbage. If you wanted to play this story, out, you probably want to play it from the perspective of one of the elves, and I would not have picked Galadriel as your girl boss leader. There's Círdan the Shipwright would probably have been a great narrator for a Second Age story. Anyway,
they suck. And
Yeah.
it's gonna suck. And it's gonna lose again to a far superior show.
Here's the number to be referenced, and I'm not sure. So we have 84,000 likes from the original Amazon Prime 4 days ago, as of right now, with 9 million views. Okay, 450,000 dislikes. People remember the first show. I don't know that this number is representative of how many people actually hate this trailer versus how many people hate this show.
Hate the show.
Because I think
The whole concept of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tolkien fans.
Well, Peter Jackson was originally supposed to be brought in, but the Tolkien estate said no.
Yeah.
They didn't want him.
Well, and now we got
he had some beef with him or something.
Yeah,
It's like Tolkien's like grandson or great grandson or whatever. It's kind of a dipshit too.
Well, you had Christopher Tolkien was the one who wrote or like edited and published like the Silmarillion and a lot of other works.
Yeah, he was a good one. Then the Next Generation is kind of a dipshit.
But Christopher Tolkien also made the comment saying that his father probably would not have approved of Peter Jackson's trilogy. So some of the criticism can be put towards Chris. All love from me. Christopher's work seems to be genuinely good faith to his father's work. But yeah, the younger one, I can't remember. Can't stand it. Waiting for the so we got.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we got plenty to cover. Anyway, rings up.
What do you think of the announcement of 2 Golem movies that you got the 3 original writers from the trilogy?
They both just get announced.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got Pete, Fran, and Philippa that are writing it, and fuck, why am I blanking on his name now?
Peter Jackson?
No, played Smeagol and shit.
Oh,
Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
Andy Serkis is directing and also starring in both of them.
I
And
know.
it's following him throughout. It's following Smeagol from way before he got the ring to after and whatnot.
I can't stand. I'm so over
It doesn't
Smeagol.
need to be done.
I'm
at all.
over Smeagol.
Probably not,
I
no.
think that Peter Jackson's original trilogy was phenomenal, but I wonder if Peter Jackson was only able to make that work because the era in which he was making the film limited what his imagination was going to do. Because if you look at the Hobbit trilogy, terrible,
Well, yeah,
garbage,
they
CGI
expanded
nightmare.
that off of a book. They're making 2 movies off of a fucking page.
I'm just talking about like Peter Jackson
Yeah.
specifically. His like Peter Jackson's
well,
original
the Hobbit
trilogy
trilogy was kind of a clusterfuck behind the scenes. so-
exactly. And so
Yeah.
I don't know if I want Peter Jackson touching Lord of the Rings anymore.
He's not directing it though. He's just writing it.
Right. I mean, I'm fine with that. I guess. I think that's fine.
But it's just a story you don't need. There's so many other stories you could tell in the Tolkien universe.
Yeah.
Other than fucking Smeagol.
I'm so over Smeagol as a character. I'm done with his stories. I don't care. He was never really like. It's like saying you want a Frodo origin story. I'm like.
Yeah, let's watch the first 60 years of his life before he goes out.
Yeah, I'm so over Smeagol. He's not doing a ton in like before the Lord of the Rings. He's just this character who keeps
Just
getting
hang out in
hunted.
caves.
He keeps getting hunted and like he commits murder and stuff. So I mean, fine. He's like actually commits like baby like eating and stuff. Like he chomps on babies a
I mean,
bunch.
who hasn't done that once
I mean,
or twice
it
in their
happens.
life?
I mean, a tasty baby leg is like delicious. It's like
So juicy, sweet.
Rings of Power is so obviously you have a lot of people saying the fandom just hates all things. You can't make them satisfied. But then you come out with the House of the Dragon season 2.
An hour after the Rings of Power trailer
Yeah.
dropped.
Dropped it
They
hard.
They were
must have
waiting
saw-
for it.
I was about to say they must have saw and they're like, go,
Go,
go, go,
go,
see
go.
that ratio? Go, go,
This
go.
this had to be up like just the amount of time it takes to upload the video onto YouTube and have it ready to go in like high resolution and good quality. It takes a couple of hours for
Oh,
like
for
a full
sure.
video. I mean, a 2-minute trailer is going to take 15 minutes, but the same thing. It takes time to upload this and have it ready. This must have been on Max's HBO account for months waiting for this
Just
moment.
sitting, hanging
They
out.
had to. This had to be so perfectly orchestrated. I don't know that this is true. I suspect that they were waiting.
Yeah, they were just waiting. They're
Yeah.
like, let's just crush him again like we did last time.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what pulling this up and playing this is going to do.
I think so too. Like me and
Yeah, just keep it on mute.
me and the wife watched the first Game of Thrones, and we were very disappointed by the end of it. And then we didn't even pay attention to the first season. We're like, we're not gonna watch it. We got burned by Game of Thrones. We're not doing this. And then we're like, oh, we heard good things. And by the end of the season, and like this coming out, and people like reacting to this, they're like, maybe we should watch this.
You haven't watched it yet?
No.
Oh.
We were just completely like, this
Like,
is
say-
awful.
Say if
Terrible,
Yeah, I
terrible,
know.
terrible by the end of Game of Thrones. We're like, we're done with it. We're done with this.
like
We're
say
not
if-
watching any of
say if
this.
the rest of the series goes to shit or whatever, I'd say the first season is still kind of like you can just latch onto
That's how
King,
Game of Thrones was.
latch on to like King Viserys' story and then like
I
end
heard
it
he's
at
awesome.
8.
Yeah, he is.
He's one of the best characters.
Or-
You
there-
fall in love with these characters. Like you definitely really want to enjoy
I'm
all
waiting
of
to
this.
see Aegon go batshit crazy.
Isn't he the Mad King? Right?
No, he's not the Mad King.
Okay.
There's a lot of Aegon Targaryens that are fucking batshit crazy.
Okay, I was like, I thought he was the Mad King from the original. Game
No,
of
it's a name that's used like 100 times.
Quite a bit.
over.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause
Like
my-
I
He's
haven't
got
watched
a
Game
little
of Thrones
brother
for
named
like 4
Aegon in
years.
this show
Okay.
too. So.
Because
Like,
isn't this show like isn't this story like 100 years ahead of the?
it is quite a
It's
while.
like
That's why I was-
100, 120.
But still, you could have completely trashed the whole realm, and they still talk about him 100 years. So that's why I thought it was him for a second.
I think the original.
That makes sense, though.
Okay, so but I mean, to your point that a lot of people were like completely thrown aback by Game of Thrones and how it ended. Like you can't downplay the significance of that mistake from Dumb and Dumber. That show, like I have a gripe with season 7.
Probably 1 through 5 was really good, and they
Yeah.
just started.
It started getting slowly worse and worse, and then
I think if you finish the Battle of the Bastards, I think that's a good ending for the story, and you can
Yep.
just imagine the rest.
Yep.
But if you go to like season 7 and 8, I have huge issues with season 7,
So much.
and season 8 is
So bad.
unexcusable nightmare. It's unexcusable.
It's so bad.
And the petition. So when the Game of Thrones wrapped up, there was a petition that got I think nearly 2 million
signed that.
signatures.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
did too.
1.8 million signatures saying redo season 8 with competent writers, and got almost 2 million signatures. People hated this show. Normies signed that. Like so many normies were like, "I'll sign a petition. I want Game of
there
Thrones to
were
be
like
done right."
there were record-breaking live streams after the end of like the last episode airs or whatever, and then like YouTube creators are just doing their live stream talking about it and stuff. They had record-breaking audiences for like every channel because people were just flocking to YouTube and be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah, they wanted to know what was happening and how it was ending. But I know a lot of people who actually have that same sentiment that Game of Thrones, the ending of Game of Thrones made it impossible to enjoy House of the Dragon. Didn't even want to give it a shot. Not a fair
Yeah,
chance.
Anytime they bring up the dagger in this show, I kind of cringe a little bit.
Oh.
What's the significance of the dagger?
Well, it goes to Arya and she kills the Night King with it.
Oh, okay. That dagger? Really?
That's the same dagger, yeah.
I didn't
What a
know that. I
waste.
missed that.
It is a huge
Such
waste.
a waste of potential with
But
the
this
White
show,
Walkers.
this show has an ending. Like the book is finished, so they know where it's going and how to end it. It's gonna be what I think 4 seasons, 3 or
Even
4
if you
seasons.
didn't have an ending for the first one. What a fuck up.
Well, so
Morons.
there's a lot of people who are not going to give House of the Dragon a fair shake.
Not until
because
the
of-
show's
sad.
over.
Exactly. And in my mind, I think season 2 will maybe be the turning point for most of these people because season 1 fully acclaimed, everyone loved it.
Except for one moment in episode 9.
Episode 9. What was that?
The queen that never was busts through the floor with a dragon.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I did see some good memes about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
And then
it's
she
so
does it.
dumb. And then they don't really acknowledge it. Maybe
Could've-
they'll acknowledge it in this season, but
Yeah, that was that's a good point. But Game of Thrones ruined House of Dragon's launch, but I mean, there's going to be more projects than House of the Dragon, right?
Duncan
There's still
Egg
more.
is in production, which I don't know a whole lot about, but everyone loves the story of it. Apparently,
But I think season 2 will be the turning point for this show.
this is gonna be because all of season 1 is like there's a lot of time jumping to like settle the chess pieces
Yep.
up, and then season 2 is like when the Civil War really kicks in and goes in. Like it's just gonna be fucking insane this season with battles and whatnot.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see some dragons on dragons fighting each
And
other.
apparently in episode 1, it kind of does like something equivalent to the Red Wedding. Like it's shockingly horrible.
Yeah, that's true.
And I love like people that know the source material are like, all right, don't name your kids after characters in this show because they're gonna do horrible shit.
Yeah.
It's like
Don't do that.
it's
They-
like
that
people that
happened
name-
with Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
They're like,
everyone named
stop
their kid
doing
Daenerys,
that.
and then she just burns all of King's Landing. It's like, oh,
Oh no, we gotta go to the courthouse.
Well, and I'm excited.
Rename the kid.
Well, let me just point to the fact that So, House of the Dragon, the reason I wanted to point, or obviously the reason we're talking about this is because people were, like, you have journalists and everyone who are saying fans can't be satisfied. They all just hate monger over this content. You put out something amazing and they're just going to shit all over and hate it. Yeah, this trailer stands in direct opposition to that point because you have 143,000 likes to only 2,500 dislikes, in contrast to Rings of Power that had like a 7-1 Or like, what was the numbers again? I have to go back to it.
4-1.
Yeah, it was like 4-1. Yeah, it was 84,000 likes to 450,000 dislikes.
5-1.
You can't make this argument anymore and have it hold water when the numbers don't support your point.
It also has over double the views, but
Yeah, House of the Dragon. Do you think House of the Dragon would be as successful if it wasn't memeing on Rings of Power as hard? Like, do you think? Okay,
yeah, it'd still be as
It'd still
successful.
be just as good, I think.
do you think it have as much notoriety?
It's not like people are like, oh, I'll just watch this instead of the other thing.
You
Like, they're either going to or not going to watch Rings of Power. It's not like,
True.
oh, I got something else to watch.
Okay. I don't think we're gonna. I think we've talked about Rings of Power and House of the Dragon, made all the points we wanted to make. But just to close this out, yeah, Rings of Power is going to lose $2 billion. What was it, $1 billion or
They
$2 billion?
paid $1 billion for like the rights, and then like
Another $1 billion for
200
production.
it was like 250, 300 million for season 1 or something like
Those are
that.
amateur numbers.
It was
You know, bump them
insane
up.
how much they were spending per episode.
Oh yeah, it's yeah.
It
They
was like 2 Godzillas minus 1 per episode or something.
yeah.
That's American math for you.
Amazon is going to lose their ass on this on that show. That's insane. Meanwhile, Max, I don't know of any
And
other.
I think
good
they were spending
projects
about
for
like
Max.
16 million per episode or something like that.
All right.
House of the Dragon was.
Do you so Cody, are we gonna do episodic reactions to this when it's coming out?
Yes.
All right, so we could preview that for you guys. We're gonna do We Gotta Talks probably on Sunday nights.
We will miss episode 2, I think it is, because we'll be out of town for that one.
Right.
And we'll just double up the next week.
Yep. So we will do episodic reactions Sunday nights after
Will you be out
the
of town for? Can I come?
Yeah, you will be there. It's
Oh.
like,
Oh, is it the lake place?
Wait,
Yeah,
when
nice.
when did this come out? When does this come out? In June?
yeah, it comes out middle June.
I will.
Well,
be
Rings of Power comes out in
fucked up.
August, so
I
they're not
mean,
going to live on top of
have
each
the
other like I
responsible
thought.
amount.
Yeah.
It's weird that Amazon released the
No,
trailer
this one's
so
going
early.
against what other Disney product is coming out in June?
Disney product in June. That's a show.
Yeah, I think it's a show.
I have no idea.
I don't remember.
I'm
either.
completely lost on that. All right. I know we had at least one viewer in there waiting for, what's the comment? Waiting for the racist talking points. Here it comes. No, I'm just kidding. All right. We're going to be talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, full disclosure, I hate the Assassin's Creed games, at least the early ones. I never got into them. I never dug in. This
The
is
early ones are the most beloved ones.
Yeah,
I know.
that's
I
true.
can't stand them. I thought the mechanics were made it impossible for me to enjoy playing them.
Get
So
good.
I was not at all.
Get good, son.
Exactly. It's
It's not even that difficult.
I played a few of the early ones, and I skipped the Egyptian one. I skipped the
Origins.
Civil War one.
Civil War one. Revolutionary War
Yep.
one?
Yep.
That'd be
Sorry,
the third one.
Revolutionary one. And then I played Odyssey, and I played Valhalla.
What's the black? Is it Black Flag?
Black Flag, just kidding.
That's number 4. That's the
Best
pirate one, yeah.
So good.
Black Flag is best one, not
Easy.
Valhalla. I thought Valhalla
No.
was most.
Valhalla is one of the. It's the worst one of the 3 that have come out like with the new RPG system.
Yeah,
Like,
it's Black Flag. So good.
So we're not.
it's hard to pick.
We're not
It's
necessarily.
Black Flag.
We're not going to be reacting
It's
to the.
easy.
We're not going to be reacting to the trailer, but more so the news that.
'Cause it's just a cinematic trailer.
Yeah, surrounding the controversy surrounding the game revolves all around
Yeah,
their
it's 2-to-1 down.
their main
ratio as
character.
well.
Yeah, let's go to that real quick. So let's just start off by saying we are not alone in our disfavor of this show.
I'm
If
just
you
kidding.
are
Show.
game,
Yeah, I hate my show too.
we just talked about shows. I'm still stuck on it. I'm trying to get there. My mind don't work. My brain don't work. But Game of Thrones, fuck, I can't get there. Cody, take over.
Assassin's
talking
Creed.
You run it. Yeah,
I got it.
nothing.
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed Shadows
It's right there in the title.
has a 500,000 dislike.
You disliked it too.
I disliked it too. Has a 500,000
Like, you don't even care about Assassin's Creed. You're just
No.
like, dislike.
dislike. Has a
I-
504,001
I'm part of the crowd.
to 250,000 upvote. If you're looking forward to this, just know you're in the minority. That's all. That's my only point. Math proves it. The controversy surrounding this game revolves around the new main character that they've chosen for it.
One of the 2.
One of the 2 main characters
there's
they've
2 of
chosen
them?
for it. The Ubisoft decided that rather than going for a Japanese main character, they decided to revolve the story around a historical figure. I'm trying to remember. It's like
Like Yasuke or something?
yeah, he's been
Yasuke?
in Yasuke. He's been in other works too. Black Samurai was a animated show on Netflix that actually I think was about him specifically as well. So if I'm remembering correctly, there's not just this show that references him. Game. There's not just this game that references him. Holy crap.
I even missed that one.
Ugh.
Well, the problem is, it's all right. What people don't get, like, that are like, oh, these people are just like racist. They don't want a black person in the game. What they don't get is like, it's not historically accurate, and like a lot of, especially Assassin's Creed games, is like, all right. So in Assassin's Creed 1, it takes place in the Middle East. You got a Middle Eastern dude. Assassin's 2, Italian. That goes on for a couple games. You got a Native American in 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, what's be another one? You got a black Egyptian in Origins.
Yep.
A Greek in Greece.
Pirate and pirate.
A Viking in the Viking area.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, okay, he was a historical figure, but there's no historical evidence that he was even a samurai.
No, everything about his like history points to him being maybe like a retainer, but most likely a slave.
It's like you're supposed to be an assassin in feudal Japan in the 1500s. As a black man, you're gonna stand out a little bit.
The interesting thing about this is that now you have shills running to Wikipedia.
Oh yeah, they're revising Wikipedia like fucking crazy.
Yeah, there's a revision war in
Edited today.
There's a revision
This
war
was a thing
in
Like,
Wikipedia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like, no, the dude exists. He was around. He was friends with Oda Nobunaga and stuff, but
Yeah.
he's like, he was more like a sword carrier. He was never a samurai.
Exactly.
Well, why not if they wanted to like introduce him in the story, which would be so cool? Like have him like as a side.
Yeah, he
like
could
a
have been
main
like
character, like
a
be part
companion
of
or
it.
like whatever.
That'd be sweet.
Well, another interesting thing was you could also put him in a DLC. You could put a whole DLC around this character and make something really fun with that. But if you're going to do all of these historically accurate representations inside of all of these games, like throughout the franchise, and you're going to change it up for this person in this game specifically, I wonder where your intentions lie when it comes to like Japanese representation in the work. Like, do you have a problem with making
Yeah,
If
a
you watch-
historically
if
accurate
you-
Japanese character?
Didn't they have like a sort of like I wouldn't say Japanese based game? Wasn't there one of them? Why am I thinking that right now?
What are you talking about?
Ghost
Ghost
of
of Tsushima
no,
was.
wasn't there like an Assassin's Creed?
There was like a 2D one.
Yeah,
Or,
I know that's not the same.
A
thing,
side
but
scroller one, yeah.
I thought there was one. Of
I
them,
didn't know
but-
they had a side scroller.
They got like 3 of them and they all
Yeah.
suck.
So it's like how Halo has the war games. They're all top-down simulators or top-down strategy games, and they're all shit. That's my take. That's just me. That's not a third-party official statement. Like, that's not the official stance
I
of
only
third-party
played
studios.
the first one.
I
back
hate
when I was
Halo
like
Wars.
10, so whatever.
But so you have people calling out, like, the people who are ripping on this, saying racism, calling foul for people criticizing this game.
Don't like it because he's black.
Well,
Like, no.
Well,
don't
it's like,
care.
well,
You
it's
had Ado-
Japanese culture, and then let's force someone else into it. Like, how is that not
You had
like,
Ado-
that own racism and not like having a Japanese?
You had
character?
Adewalde in Black Flag. There was a DLC where you just played as him. You had Origins, or you played Bayek. No one gives a fuck about playing as Bayek. Bayek's a good character. It's not about he's black in Japan. It's it's the historical thing about it.
yeah.
And then Ubisoft's like, well, we've never been historically accurate. It's like, what the fuck are you trying to do right now, dude?
Yeah, you're just like, we've never been historically accurate. Oh, so all the people who play these games for their historical accuracy were wrong the whole time?
They mapped out like whole cities and like made it accurate. The whole like cities.
Yeah, 18th century Paris.
Yeah, they made like I've seen. Not that you should like go and teach your kids this way, but like there was like a teacher who went in on Assassin's Creed and like walked through. It was like a history teacher, and he's like, "This was so incredibly accurate. I could go through the city of whatever." And this, I forget what Assassin's
Well, they
Creed
made
was,
like the
but-
whole country of Egypt in
Yeah,
Origins, too.
I'm like, that's freaking crazy how accurate they were.
Can I just throw out something real quick? Not entirely related. Black Samurai, the anime on Netflix, actually was really good. I thought that show was actually great.
Do you want a pat on the back or a cookie?
I want both. I
Do
would
you
like
want your
both.
I'm not a racist card?
No, I
I'd like one.
your words don't hurt me. I am immune from your criticism. But I wanted to just so talking about the numbers. Obviously, with a trailer that bombs that hard, they took a huge dip in their freaking stock.
Yeah, how much percentage?
Well, they
did it drop?
they rejected
Holy
3 other
cow.
stories too in favor for this one.
Yeah, there was the unconfirmed story about how it would have been like a Japanese monk who would have been the main character.
There's so many characters throughout. There's so many real life characters in that period that you could have just plucked out and be like, all right, that'll be the main character.
Yeah.
And you go with this dude that's like traveling around Japan basically as like a, oh my god, look at this black guy. We've never seen a black guy before. And that was his whole role.
And you know what culture loves people revising their history? Japan. It's like their favorite thing. You like?
Oh yeah.
They love when
hate their history.
they love when white people revise their history. They love it.
Yeah, how's that game gonna do over there? You
Oh,
Oh,
Like,
if you
finally,
watch the
a game
trailer,
set in over here, we get representation. And
if you watch the Japanese, or not watch the, but look at the Japanese trailer comments, it's just all about, it's like, oh, they hate Japanese people, you're fucking with our history and blah, blah, blah. blah.
yeah,
well, you had a
like where's their representation?
similarly with Greeks when the Cleopatra show came out. You had the Greeks just be like, "You're just revising Cleopatra now. You're just changing our
Yeah, and
historical
Egypt.
figures."
I think Egypt sued the writer or director of that
Oh,
show.
that's right.
Good.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
The government's suing you.
Yeah, you're just revising our history. Like that's fantastic. Now Wikipedia, the Wikipedia.
Oh,
like,
they did another one where it's like a queen or some chick in England or whatever. They just made her black too. What the fuck was it?
Oh, what the
Oh,
hell's
man.
that thing?
And
Bernadette.
Berneth?
Bernadette. Is that the let them eat cake person?
No, that's
Because I was thinking
fuck,
of
I'm missing
her.
that one now too.
Yeah, she's probably like super like Russian or something. I don't know.
Austrian.
Austrian, yeah. But Ubisoft, like, what sucks about this is that I actually don't hate Ubisoft's games generally
No,
speaking.
I like their games mostly.
I mean,
I've played all of them. I've beaten all of Assassin's Creed games.
well, and I'm thinking about this, like, do I have to stop playing For Honor now? And I'm just,
No.
and I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm like,
Just because some of the heroes suck ass.
well, we play For Honor on almost, like, at least half of our Sunday Slackers. We played For Honor.
Yeah, I play it on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I enjoy For Honor. The mechanics in For Honor are like something to be like commended.
Swing stick is what you do there, Tox. That's
You're
what,
right.
That's what I watched.
Just swing
In
and
a
swing
circle.
and swing.
I love the
Hey, I got him. I did swing stick.
I love the
knocked one
mechanics.
attack out of 10.
Well, then you have the story where the senior writer for Assassin's Creed's coming out, making it sound like they're playing this off as if like Asians and white people are the same fucking thing. Like, first off, you have your own, like, Japanese people have their own pretty specific like culture and history.
Ubisoft went hard in 2020 with Summer of Love. They just went full on
Just
woke and left leaning and whatnot. And it's like, I guess they decided not to stop the Asian hate. So
Oh, I believe that. I mean, yeah, you want representation in your gaming, fine. Like, it doesn't mean the audience has to come along for the ride. And what a lot of these like gaming companies are not realizing or not recognizing is how big of a hit Hollywood has taken for these moves. And they're like, oh, we can get away with it.
Well, the thing with gaming, though, it takes like 7 years to develop games nowadays.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so they're way behind. It's like Hollywood's like 2 or 3 years behind. Gaming's going to be like... I think that's why Dragon Age is taking so long to come out, because they keep on rewriting the story. It's like, oh, the culture's moving a different way now. We got to scrap that and do something else.
Yeah, I'm excited for that game, but yeah, it's never gonna come out.
The last game was Anthem in 2019. It
Ugh,
Oh, that game bombed.
was BioWare's
it's
last
so
game.
bad.
That game did really,
I
really,
bought it and
really
I played
bad.
it, and I had like a decent time with it, but towards the end game is awful.
I actually kind of like
So
Mass
bad.
Effect Andromeda.
Well, yeah, I didn't play
After all the
Andromeda.
patches and whatnot, it was...
I never played Andromeda.
The sad is like it's just a big cliffhanger.
Do you think that okay? So, what do you guys predict will happen with this game? Do you think people are gonna just accept it, take
Well,
their
the
medicine?
thing is, Valhalla, in everyone's opinion, kind of sucks compared to everything else, and that was their best-selling one. They've made a shitload of money off that game.
Yeah, I think it'll do mediocre. Yeah.
It's feudal
I think it'll
Japan.
be fine.
Everyone loves feudal Japan.
But there's better games like Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima takes place 300 years before this, and Ghost of Tsushima takes place on a tiny island where the Mongols invade. Feudal Japan, the Sengoku period, is all Civil War stuff.
I think,
I
yeah.
think it'll do fine.
You think
I
it'll
think
perform?
I think it'll do fine
I
too.
think it'll do fine.
That's really
I
disappointing to
have
hear,
no-
guys. Tell
I
us
have no
more
interest in
bad
playing
news.
it, but
Well, I'm not gonna buy it or play it, but
Right.
I still think it'll be fine. Like,
I
if
hope.
it's a good game, people should play it.
I go
mean,
back to Odyssey,
you shouldn't-
the Greek one, from time to time. That one's fun. But
Do you like the diversity in that game?
not a lot of diversity, a lot of Greek people, bro.
Oh man, love the
Yeah.
Greece. The Greeks. Greece.
Yeah, I think it was all
You
Greek.
shouldn't just. I mean, not just play a game just because.
Diversity.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a good game, go play it. Who
It's
cares?
like, yeah, I'm not playing Origins because Bayek's a black Egyptian.
Yeah,
it's
just-
like, no,
If it's a good game, go play it.
no, I
that's-
played it
who
because
cares?
Bayek is also a good character.
I mean, they shouldn't just like not represent the Japanese culture. But if it's a good game at the end of the day, I mean, what? Don't stop yourself from enjoying.
I
the
don't
game.
feel very represented in For Honor. I don't.
Wait,
I don't,
why aren't I in?
Good. You shouldn't.
Why
be.
aren't I in Assassin's Creed Shadows?
Yeah, why Ginger? I mean,
It's
Gingers
called
have.
Shadows. I'm too white.
Ooh,
Like shockingly Caucasian.
Assassin's Creed, but it's the IRA.
It's
You
set
get-
in 80s
You
Ireland.
get audited, yeah.
Yeah, I'd play that game.
It just turns into Call of Duty. This is a shooter now.
We need more substitutes for Call of Duty. That's what I'll say there. All right, on to the next topic. We got to cover Square Enix. Cody, this was actually your suggestion. Do you want to lead with this one? Break it
Well, I
down.
don't know too much about it. I mean, Sony's been taking hit after hit lately, especially with the Helldivers thing.
Oh yeah, Helldivers got their ass whooped.
Oh, dude, did you
Well,
hear
Sony
what they
got
did
their asses
now?
I have not. I did
Oh
see
my
an
goodness! So they
article.
like try to reestablish in all the countries that got
Oh, they couldn't
like
play.
the 180 that couldn't play it, and they still couldn't. As of like a few days ago, like 3 or 4 days ago, so it's probably old news now because they probably did update
Yeah.
it. They still couldn't play it.
Oh,
Well,
So
they-
then they got review bombed again.
Yeah, they pulled
They're gonna have
the
to make
game.
another
those
cape.
countries still couldn't play. They're like, oh, we reversed it, and it didn't like take or for some reason.
Fucking Sony.
Well, and
Jeez.
Helldivers 2 coming to Xbox also. That news I think broke yesterday.
Yeah, it was just rumors about 2 days ago, so
Yeah.
I didn't know if something broke or not.
Yeah, but then Square Enix is like, I think somehow they lost their ass in Final Fantasy 16 didn't sell as well as they wanted, so
I'm surprised
sold
by
all
that.
right. I liked it. It's very linear and whatnot.
Yeah,
But
it's a long game.
they also lost their ass in Rebirth, apparently. The second Final Fantasy remake. Which everyone's like, this is the game of the year. It's the best thing that's ever came out. And it's like, I got 20 hours in and I just dropped it.
I think so. Square Enix.
So they're like, yeah, fuck Sony. We're going to go all
70%
platforms.
Yeah.
decline.
Yeah,
Oh
Square.
my
So
goodness.
Square Enix new strategy for going forward with like is going to be multi-platform instead of PlayStation exclusive, which is what they have been historically.
Well, I mean, with the Final Fantasies too, they've always been PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah.
Except for 13. 13 is on the Xbox, but
Well, honestly, I don't know how
and
much.
So is 15.
I
But
don't know how much you're gonna gain from like the multi-platform when Xbox taking hit after hit, downsizing their studios. They're taking a bunch of losses. Their profit lines are getting destroyed.
They're fucked.
Game. What is the What's the subscription
Bucks.
service? What's the subscription service for
PSN?
Xbox?
Oh,
No.
Xbox Live. Or
Xbox-
no,
no,
Game
it's
Pass.
Game Pass. Game Pass not profitable, not even breaking
No,
even.
Game Pass was keeping them alive.
No,
They were saying that for like when it first came out. It's like, oh my god, Game Pass is making us so much money. It's like I can pay $15 a month and play 500 different games.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, how is that profitable at all?
it's not like it. So I'm pretty sure that the idea that Game Pass is actually profitable has been debunked.
Yeah.
We're not going to rehash that, and honestly, we would need someone who understands
Microsoft's getting out
that
of the
money.
console game anyway.
Yeah, Microsoft is just going to go to Microsoft Gaming on PC, and if that means now if you have PlayStation versus PC, PlayStation loses that war so hard.
I think it's just gonna end up being PlayStation and Nintendo.
It was never like PlayStation versus Xbox versus computer. It was
Oh, it was always just
PlayStation versus Xbox, and computer. PC was always like I'm
PC's
here
only gotten giant recently.
yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
like everyone's fucking on
Yeah.
PC now.
Yeah, and it's because these consoles.
because
keep
everything
making-
comes to it.
Yeah.
Well, and consoles aren't
Eventually.
even. Honestly, once you went away from like physical media, there was no advantage to doing the console because the console was your means of playing the games that you were going to go buy. But now that you don't need to buy them on like in person, you get them all digitally. There's no
That's
benefit.
why I went to PC. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make the main switch because I play PC. It's just not my main thing.
As soon as we get you onto a PC, we'll be able to do more Discord and stuff like that
Well, I
instead.
got a PC, but
It's fine.
It's garbage.
what?
It's garbage.
I don't know. I paid $1,000 for it. So.
That's enough money.
That should be enough money.
Should be enough.
So Square Enix adopts new corporate philosophy of
So, yeah, dropped a couple grand, whatever.
unforgettable experience. So they're focusing more
Whatever.
on a quality of game versus like a mass sending of like a variety of games. Like focusing on less is more strategy. It sounds like.
Oh, they're doing the Disney thing.
Yeah. The disaster.
But Disney hasn't, done anything about it yet.
Disaster 70% decline in profits. That hurts so. That's got to hurt so much.
Forspoken was such a shit show.
Oh, Forspoken, yeah.
Once the reviews come out and like people are getting hints of the dialogue, it just became a meme fest.
Yeah. And Forspoken was touched by Black Girl Gamers, which was
That sounds dirty.
Black Girl Gamers.
They touched it.
It's not racism. It's their name. It's their company's name. It's not. Look, it's in the article. But Black Girl Gamers was actually one. So when the Sweet Baby Inc. news was breaking, Black Girl Gamers was kind of the second one to pop up as people were playing whack-a-mole with these companies that were like
that, and then like Gamers.
Yeah, Gamers X. Yeah, from Japan. That was I think that was with Niantic, the Pokemon Go.
Yeah, it's just so much coming out, dude.
Yeah. So the great thing about this is that gamers are actually starting to pay attention, because a lot of what slipped past them was like Call of Duty just saying, "Hey, we're still Call of Duty, but here's no more country flags. Instead, it's all pride flags." Like if you want a flag, you're wearing
you're
the pride
playing as
flag.
fucking Nicki Minaj and shit. It's turning into Fortnite, but somehow gayer.
It's way gayer. And I mean, that's going to be our next story. I think the point we're trying to make with the news about
Square Enix.
Square Enix, thank you. The news about them was really that they were going away from a PlayStation exclusive to now being multi-platformed and being cross-platform for their games.
Yeah, and it's just in whole console gaming is just gonna stop being a thing.
And it really seems like they're kind of the last to the party too. It seems like more development studios are going to multi-platform.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nintendo's going to be the only holdout.
Yeah.
Nintendo will still be a thing,
I don't know
even
if
when
they'll
the other
ever
two go down.
They might give up like certain games, but they're never going to give up their big ones like Mario and
Right.
I don't
Well,
think
it's
they'll
also
ever
Nintendo
give
is like
them up.
mostly first-party studios that develop their games. They're
Yeah.
not taking in like third-party.
Yeah,
and
they're
having
never
random
going to give
people
up
do
their
it.
big names. That's
Well,
what sells their Switches.
And they're the family
Switch
console.
2's
They're the
gonna come out.
family gaming experience. Like they're not.
yeah, they are.
They're an entirely different
The
market than
family
PlayStation.
gaming experience, unless they pull a Disney, it's like, oh,
Yeah, yeah.
it used to be for families.
Well, I think the new Mario
Now you're
game
for men
has
in
something.
dresses.
The new Mario game I think has something to hate. I don't remember what it was. So
I
we're
don't
not
pay
gonna dig
attention
into
to
it.
Nintendo
let's
at
join
all.
the bandwagon. Fuck you, Nintendo.
I just don't like them because they copyright everything that you put up.
Yeah, it's terrible.
True. That's just science.
Science.
So the final story to wrap up the day is going to be talking about Call of Duty, which we all love Call of Duty, right, guys?
Duty.
Yeah, we
Back
love.
in 2012, I did.
There's a few of them that I liked.
So the news that broke out this week with Call of Duty was that news broke that Call of Duty's development studios were going to force DEI officers onto every dev team in order to promote the message, which I fucking love.
The message.
The message. Yeah, exactly. So Call of Duty, we knew that Call of Duty was woke. I mean, they're not hiding
I
it.
like how Ubisoft didn't have to hire anyone. They're just like, we're already woke enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need enforcement officers on all of our teams.
We
to,
all
like,
are already ones.
well, you have Activision forcing people to like.
Activision's shit show.
Activision has all these like DEI like training seminars that are like not required,
But they are required.
yeah,
Wink,
if
wink.
oh John didn't come to the seminar, John's
Could
a
you
bigot.
imagine attending one of those? I should try holding one of those at my shop.
That'd be hilarious.
We're gonna have a DEI meeting, guys.
I just like meme the shit out of it. That'd be so much fun.
It's
Actually,
just like
can I
five
come?
blue collar mechanics are like, what the fuck are we doing?
Don't we have work to do? No, that's not what we're talking about. But the fact that they're mandating it across every dev team means that they're doubling and tripling, quadrupling, quintupling down. They're just like this till we die.
Yeah, that's it's quite a deep hole they're digging themselves in.
Well,
It's a long way to crawl up from.
well, who was the so there was a YouTuber Nick something who had a package
Nick
with
Merckx.
Nick Merckx.
Oh yeah, I've heard of him.
He had a package deal, like he had a package with Call of Duty at the same time that Tim the Tatman, Dr. Disrespect all had their packages come out, and then he posted something pretty innocuous and got his entire.
It was like during a stream or whatever. He was basically just talking about like, hey, let's like
Leave the
kids
kids-
alone
Yeah, leave the kids alone. That's what it was.
when it comes to all this like drag
I
stuff
have
and
heard
all that.
that. Yeah.
And Call of Duty's like, nah, fuck him.
We're coming for your kids.
They pull, we're gonna get
Give
you
your
kids. We're gonna get them. And then
We're gonna get 'em.
they pull his
Didn't everyone's like, you pull mine too then?
Yeah, Tim the Tatman
Essentially.
backed
Yeah,
out. Dr.
everyone's-
Disrespect backed out. No, Tim the Tatman, I think, is still doing Call of Duty stuff. Dr. Disrespect, I
I think
think.
a bunch of them quit though. Too.
They
Like,
quit for a
quit.
while, and then like some of them came back.
Yeah.
Played more fucking Warzone.
I had optimistic hopes for X Defiant as a like viable
Game's still
replacement.
not out.
Yeah, as a viable replacement for Call of Duty. I was like, why can't we get a single reasonably competitive like
Yeah,
alternative to
there's
Call
none.
of Duty? They don't have a monopoly on. They have a monopoly on
just a
first-person
brand
arcade
name.
shooters. How
Yeah,
is
it's
that
like-
possible?
The multiplayer like shooter market like is kind of going down the drain. Like there
Kind
was
of
the
is.
finals for a while, but it's like burnt out on that.
Well, and everyone like it. Like you don't need to be that fucking creative. Just make
Make 3
good
lanes
maps.
and make good guns.
Make
Right.
good
Instead
maps,
of
good
you
guns.
know trying to Fortnite the fuck out of this thing.
Yeah.
With Nicki Minaj twerking on your corpse.
Well, and honestly, the really
That's hot.
the really weird skins and stuff
So
in the
much
finals.
plastic.
The really weird skins and stuff in the finals really threw me off for quite a while. But I got over
That
and
one's
played it.
That one's like we're in a virtual reality shooting
Yeah.
each other. Fuck it. This one's supposed to be modern shooter.
Yeah, it's like grab 10 guns.
Like they got Laura Croft in there now, I think.
Yeah, make the game.
Although with the double
You need like
Was that-
20 guns total. Make a decent, 10
Mechanic.
maps.
Yeah,
Make
well,
the
and they started doing
shooting
like
feel good. That's all
you
you gotta
have to
do.
use this certain gun to unlock attachments for a
Oh,
different
it's
gun,
so
and it's
dumb.
like, oh,
That's why I
fuck.
dropped that lot. I didn't even buy Modern Warfare 3.
It's like,
the
no,
new
I
one.
wanna
And
use
Modern
this
Warfare
gun.
2 was like that, and I'm like, I'm done with this.
well, and X Defiant had a balancing issue that I thought was going to be the only thing they were going to work on when they were doing all these alpha and beta releases, and then they go back to the drawing board.
Our beta gameplay when we played that, was months ago now. Like
Yeah.
a half a year ago now.
Well, the reason that
Months ago.
the reason that CS:GO and CS2 were so successful. I mean, those games are like 20 years old almost. Like, or Counter-Strike is like probably as popular as Call of Duty, but in a different market.
More. The
Yeah.
game's like the most popular game.
And it's competitively played. Like
No,
E-League,
Minecraft is.
like E-League,
Tetris.
E-League, CS, E-League Counter-Strike is like mainstream now,
People
or it's
love
getting more
cubes.
mainstream. It's so simple. They have 20 or 30 guns. Every gun has a unique spray pattern. Their maps are some of the most iconic.
You got a few assault rifles, a few submachine guns,
Yeah.
a few snipers.
Make everything look good.
And every person, every character in the game is the same, regardless of which
oh,
team you're
yeah,
on.
instead of the class
Class
the
differences.
hero shooter.
Yeah. It's like
Hero
all you
shooters got
like.
old.
One thing about Call of Duty is that Call of Duty doesn't have like this character is like stronger and faster, or like this character's stronger, this character's more health,
A
this character's
tank,
tank.
is support.
Yeah, they
blah,
don't
blah,
do
blah.
that. You don't need that. I don't
It
know
works
why.
in Battlefield, but
I don't know why every competitor to Call of Duty
Yeah.
falls in that same trap.
They
It's
don't
like
need to.
you don't need to make all of your characters exactly the same so it's balanced. Come out with decent guns that are balanced. Like I think that's X Defiant's biggest problem for me was X Defiant wanted to come out with all these classes. I'm like, dude, get rid of all of that. Just work on balancing your
you
guns.
did say a bunch of times you wanted a bare bones mode.
I just want a bare bones mode, something that actually will compete against Call of Duty. Is that too much to fucking ask?
yes, yes.
Why is it too much to fucking ask?
Because
I fucking hate it.
We
I'm
want
not going to
Toxic
make a
Cry.
game just for you.
We can make games for me. I'm your
I
audience.
am the one.
All right, guys. I think that's where we're going to leave it. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Third Party Podcast. We will see you guys on the next one. Reminder on your way out, please consider subscribing to the channel with notification bell turned on so you never miss a video. Smash the like button and share this video out there. And if you want to see additional content on our channel, please consider clicking one of the links on the video here. We will see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Oh, he memorized the script.
I don't got